Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial. Now in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create a point shapefile from a data list like this. Now as an example, I have selected a set of data which shows you the airports in the world. Now here you can see in the first column it shows you the country, and the second and third columns show you the longitude and the latitude information correspondingly. So I'm going to show you how we can transfer this data into an actual point ESRI shapefile using Python GeoPandas. So let's get started. So first I'm going to go to this file explorer, and you can see over here I have this world airports CSV file over here. Let me create a Python module CSV to point shapefile .py. So first what you would need to do is you have to read in this CSV file. You can read in CSV files easily using the pandas library. So I'm going to import the pandas library first. Import pandas as PD, and then I'm going to define one variable called airport data. That's going to be equal to pd.read CSV. Now since I keep my .py file and the CSV file in the same location, I can just simply specify world airports.csv over here. If not, you will have to provide the full path. Alright, now we can just go ahead and hit enter, and now we can have a quick look. Airport data.head. Maybe let's have a look at the first 15 entries. Alright, you can see that we have three columns: country, the longitude, and the latitude. Now even if you go to the variables explorer, you can actually get a much better view. You can see that all the data is here. Now still, if you check the type of this data, the name of the variable is airport data, you will see that the data type is actually pandas data frame. Now we want to convert this from being a pandas data frame into a GeoPandas geodata frame. That means right now this variable does not have any geometrical properties, even though it contains these two columns, longitude and latitude. But right now the variable knows only that it has two columns, but it has no idea spatially where each of these points should actually be placed. So get around that, what we do is we convert this pandas data frame into a GeoPandas geodata frame so that it'll actually be spatially accurate as well. Alright, so before going into that part, just have a quick look at this structure of a GeoPandas geodata frame. Now you can see that we have, regularly similar to pandas data frames, we have the index column, and then we have a couple of columns like column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. But how this GeoPandas geodata frame differs from a pandas data frame is through this special geometry column. Now this special geometry column is actually the reason why this GeoPandas geodata frame differs from a regular pandas data frame, because now it has a geometrical property as well. So as you can see over here, this is one example of a property that you would see in a geometry column. As you can see over here, it shows you point and some numbers inside. Now it doesn't necessarily need to be points, it could either be polygons or it could be even something else. So based on those given coordinate information inside each point entry, the GeoPandas geodata frame knows exactly where to place each attribute spatially with the correct geometrical accuracy. Alright, so let's see how we can convert this pandas data frame actually to look something like that GeoPandas geodata frame. So in order to do that, first you have to import the GeoPandas library. I'm going to import it as gpd. Alright, now I'm going to create another variable called, let's say, airport gdf, which basically stands for geodata frame. And now I'm going to call this library gpd dot geodata frame, because now we are going to create a new geodata frame based on the airport data over here. And now very specifically we have to provide the corresponding entries for the geometry column. So we pass one argument, a special argument called geometry, and that's going to be equal to gpd points from XY. Alright, now what we have to basically do is just provide the list of longitude and latitude values. Now for example, you can access the longitude values over here by simply specifying the column name. For example, if you need to know the longitude values, you can do like this and it'll show the longitude values. So I'm going to specify this set over here as the longitude, and then similarly you have to specify the set of latitude values as well. I'm going to change this as latitude. So basically this longitude is referring to this one and this latitude is referring to this one. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Now if I run this command, you will see that we did not get any error or anything like that. And now if I try to see how this airport GDF looks, now you can see that in addition to having this country, longitude and latitude column, it has actually created its own special geometry column which has assigned each and every entry, each and every attribute its own geometrical properties. Now over here it has recognized that this is a point entry, and over here it has specified the corresponding longitude and the latitude value. Now if you check the type of this, we can check the type like this. You can now see that it's actually a GeoPandas geodata frame. So now you can just have a quick look at the data just by saying gdf.plot, and you can see that we see the points over here, but since the points are not very clear, we can make a couple of adjustments. We can reduce the marker size, maybe to about 1.5, and also I can increase the figure size, let's say 10 by 10. Alright, now let's run this one and see. Alright, now you can see that we managed to successfully create a plot out of this CSV data that we had, isn't it? So each entry actually refers to one point over here in this map. Now also let's learn how to save this file into an ESRI shapefile. So let me just go ahead and comment a couple of things out. Using pandas, this one is creating a GeoPandas geodata frame using the pandas data frame. Now finally, we would like to save this as an let's say ESRI shapefile. Alright, now what you can do is you can just say airports.gdf to file, and over here you can specify the file name. File name, let's say I would say that I would say airports.shp, because .shp is the extension of the shapefile. Apart from that, I also have to specify the driver argument, which is ESRI shapefile. Now if you go ahead and run this, now over here you can see that we already have the airports shapefile created. However, I see one issue. Now over here you can see that we have a couple of files, but as you might know, when we create a shapefile, there should be a set of files, including a projection file. Usually the extension of the projection file is .prj, but over here I do not see the projection file. Now the issue with that is, let's say if you're using a GIS software like QGIS, now just to open this, if I just drag this and drop it over here, you will see that the CRS was undefined. The coordinate reference system was undefined because right now this cannot recognize what its coordinate system is, because when we created the shapefile over here using GeoPandas, it somehow did not create the .prj file. So it is important to create the PRJ file. So now I'm going to show you how we can actually export the shapefile in a way that it also creates the .prj file. So actually you can use that file for some useful purpose. So what you need to do is first, again, have a look at this, our geometry column. Now what I can do is I can just go to the variables explorer, and now I can directly go to this airport GDF. Now over here you can see that my latitude and longitude values, it actually appears to be in decimal degrees. So these points are basically in WGS 1984 geographical coordinate system. In order to include the PRJ file, you need to know something called the WKT information of that particular coordinate system. WKT basically stands for well-known text. So you need to know that well-known text code in order to export this shapefile, including its correct projection. So one way that you can do is actually you can first go to this website epsg.io. Alright, over here you can get the information about specific coordinate systems based on its EPSG code. Now the EPSG code for WGS 1984 geographic coordinate system is 4326. So I'm just going to search based on that. Alright, now if you scroll down over here, you can see that the well-known text for ESRI is basically this particular code. So this is actually what we need to extract from here. Now you can either copy this and paste it, or you can just simply hit over here, copy the text and create a variable called ESRI WKT, and I'm going to paste this as a string like this. Just make sure that you put this inside the quotes. Alright, now we have the ESRI WKT, the well-known text. Now if you need to know the ESRI WKT for another coordinate system, basically what you need to do is you need to identify which EPSG code that coordinate system refers to and come to the corresponding page. Just scroll down, and from here you can get what the corresponding WKT code over here. Alright, so since you have done that, ESRI WKT. Alright, now what you have to do is just simply pass another argument called CRS WKT, and that's going to be basically equal to this string. Alright, now if I open back the folder, you can see that we don't have any PRJ file over here. And now if I run this command, and if I open it back, you will see that we have the .prj file over here, which basically contains all the projection information corresponding to this particular shapefile. If I open that, you can see that that WKT code has actually been transferred into this PRJ file. Now if I just go ahead and open, so let me get rid of this one. And now if I just go ahead and drag this one and drop it over here, you see that it immediately recognizes what sort of a projection system it has. And just right here you can see that it has already recognized the corresponding EPSG, and this way we did not get any errors or warnings or anything like that, because now it actually has the proper projection properties as well. So if you want to add a base map, maybe just to have a quick look, you can even see that. And maybe let me go ahead and reduce the size of the marker. Now you can see that everything works well. These individual points are actually referring to the airports. So that's how you basically do a proper transfer of this kind of a list of information with coordinates and convert it actually to a proper shapefile using Python GeoPandas. Alright, I guess you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did like it, don't forget to click like and hit subscribe as well. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care.